I'm not feeling it to put on myself, much less other people. And then my friend is probably going to be doing this fashion show thing again. And I'm not going to overbook myself like I did last time. I got sick right in the middle of things, and I didn't realize what the hell was going on. I got stressed out, and the next thing I know, I'm in the emergency room, not once, but twice, for this thing called benign positional vertigo. Took me to go to the second emergency room to find out what the heck it is that I have. Kind of like what Janet Jackson was suffering with, but not quite. Hers were also associated with migraines. Now, my headaches, there were really no headaches associated with it. It's just that I would open my eyes and the room was spinning. And we're talking about like stop the world, I want to get off kind of spinning. It was terrible. I couldn't look over, like for instance, if I was in a if I was in a 2 or 3 story mall or something like that, and they have it open out where you can actually look down into the second part, I couldn't do that without falling over. Whereas I was going to fall over backwards. And so I had to be real careful where I stood, how I would look at things, and how fast I got up just from sitting down, especially from lying down. Oh, I have this medicine now that I take that kind of helps with it. There's a couple of things that I have to take if it gets really really bad. One of them is for nausea, because the spin got so bad. The first time I had to sit down on the floor to put on my clothes, otherwise I was gonna hit my head on something, and I would have had a nasty concussion. But the vertigo thing, it was no joke. There was a lot of people that were dealing with it when we had a nasty flu epidemic, because my daughter got the flu and then I turned around and I got sick, and that's when they started diagnosing me with the benign positional vertigo. And then basically that was brought on because of everything that had happened with my husband, and that has stressed me out to a point where it's like this trigger in the brain, and it goes behind the eyes, and it's an inner ear problem as well, and your eyes are doing this, but it makes it feel like the room is spinning out of control like this. Like, say for instance, you're staring at the ceiling fan is off, but when the room is spinning, it's on. If that makes any sense. It's weird. It's the strangest thing. That's the weirdest thing I've ever experienced in my life. And I don't like it. And I've been to work a couple of times, and I had to have a coworker take me home because I couldn't stand up straight. And I went back to work too soon the first time, and I had to hold on to everything because I was wobbly. And it's scary. It really really freaks you out. It literally makes you feel like if you're standing up or whatever when it's happening, or even lying down, it makes you feel like you're about to fall off of something and you're still. It's it's creepy. I've never felt anything like that in my life, and I don't like it when I feel that way. But I don't have bouts with it that often, thank God. But when I do, it's something, whereas I have to take my medicine, which is Antivert, and what is it, Meclizine is the clinical name for it, I believe. But anyway, I have to take that, and I can only take 1 pill at a time, because if I take 2, all it's going to do is knock me out. 1 pill knocks me out as it is, and it's supposed to be a less drowsy formula, and it's not. But the only 2 things that I could do in order to really stop it, 1 is to take my medicine, and 2 is lie down. So, and there's no telling how long I'll be out for, but however long it takes for the medicine to kick in and for me to just, for my body to just chill and readjust. It's kind of almost like when my husband would have his diabetic episodes, we'd have to get his sugar back up because it dropped so bad. And he would have to get something in his system, and he would be out for like 2 hours. The only thing about it is this stuff would happen at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I gotta get up at 5 to go to work. It's like, oh my goodness. So it's a matter of sticking around and trying to make sure that he was okay before we could do anything else. And this went on for years. You know, that coupled with congestive heart failure is no joke. So, you know, anybody asks me to this day, well, are you angry with God or whatever? No, I totally understand. I totally understand. I'm not saying that it doesn't hurt and I don't miss him and then I don't love him still or whatever, because we were together for 12 years and we went through a lot. But, you know, when you take care of a sick person for a very long time, at a young age, like I did, because it was, gosh, when did everything start? I was in my early 30s, but still, that was too young to be, I mean, unless your profession is a nurse, it's just one of those things where it's like, it is just too much. I was overwhelmed. With a lot of stuff at an early age, and just, things just were not what they were supposed to be for a lot of reasons. Not going to go into all of them, but my depression definitely, which is something that I suffer from, and I know I'm not on medication for it. I was once, and it turned me into a total zombie. And this was after I'd given birth to my daughter. I had postpartum real bad. So, and I'm pretty sure that there is a history of depression in my family, one way or another, but who has what, I do not know. All I do know is that things like congestive heart failure and cancer especially scare the shit out of me, because my mother died from it, my grandmother died from it, my other grandmother died from complications due to congestive heart failure, and then she had a bout with cancer for a minute, and it's like, okay. There's a history of high blood pressure in my family. There's also a history of arthritis in my family. I have osteoarthritis in my wrist and epicondylitis in my elbow. And if I kept doing the other job that I was doing, that one boss that we had shifted me over to, I would probably be sitting here right now talking to you while on disability or some jazz like that, because everything was starting at my wrist and creeping up to my elbow, which I still have problems with sometimes, but the job I do now is it's a little lighter, so it's not so bad. It all depends on how many we have in the room. But this is something I have to constantly do when my wrist locks up on me or whatever. But it started at my wrist, creeped up my elbow, and was starting to get to my shoulder. And I was like, yeah, I gotta get out of here. Y'all not gonna operate on me. I'm not doing it. I got enough crash test dummies running around that damn place. I was not gonna be one of them. So I was like, okay. I was mad at first when they switched me again to do something else, but now that I'm doing this, I don't want to do anything else. Put my buds in my ears, go around them darn things, get finished with them, stick them on the thing, and go on my merry damn way at the end of the day. Alright, that's pretty much it. I think I bored the hell out of y'all to death enough, whatever. So,
daydream, I dream of you amid the flowers, for a couple of hours.